Angels Voices podcast, knowledge for self-development. Hello, Angels Voices podcast listeners. Today we have a privilege to chat with Mona, and our theme on today's podcast is astrology and how can it provide a personal, unique exit plan out of this crazy madness that is happening and is being pre-planned for all of us. So, hello, Mona. How are you?
Hello. Welcome to our first ever getting together, and hopefully there will be more to come because there's quite a lot that could be potentially crammed up in decoding the madness that's descending on all of us, and all of us also looking for exit strategies. And astrology is only something I would like to briefly touch on today, but definitely come in from an angle. I am not an astrologer. I just want to clarify that I would call myself a code breaker. And I'm coming at astrology from quite an intuitive angle. And what I'm really primarily interested in today, as we're briefly touching on astrology as a tool, quite a profound tool of this containment field. Containment field or God simulation, or however we want to call this construct, simulating God's original creation and our role as creator beings in it. The astrology, I consider astrology a really an incredibly potent tool to assist people on a very deeply personal level to find an exit strategy.
Okay, so that's brilliant. I am very interested. I am absolutely new in astrology, even though I know few things about my own personal birth chart, but I would love to ask some questions, and I hope that this is going to benefit everyone who's listening. So first of all is, how do you know?
Can I ask you, what do you actually know about your chart?
Well, I know that I am... I don't really know much, to be honest with you. I just know that I guess I am getting to know my astrology from my personal strengths. It's very strange to even say that, but I feel like I know more about my strengths and weaknesses through my personal life rather than I know through my strengths and weaknesses because of astrology.
Of course.
But
that's why it's so profound as a confirmation tool. I had in many ways no idea about astrology until I had already gathered profound insights based on actual lived-in experiences, like meeting life directly and head-on. And then I had been so dismantled in my ego, personality, and kind of shell, this front facade that we all somehow also mistake for who we are, and even come in to the way how you introduce it. I know I would really refrain from saying stuff like this, I mean, kind of almost to just observe certain things as aspects of ourselves, that play a role, but that are not the totality of who we are. Because even in terms of just to say this, the sun, for example, which most definitely most people will have some kind of idea, where they are positioned there. So you have a Libra sun.
That's the only thing I know. I know Libra sun, and I know that my ascendant is Scorpio. This is as far as it goes.
I've checked this out. Just this morning, I've checked this out. You also have, that will kind of give you a real grid on many things, and a very profound ability to go really, really deep. you know, and where it's actually hitting the hardest within yourself. You know, it's where you, you know, to seek these deep transformations within yourself. That's actually where you can go the furthest. And you have actually Pluto conjunct your Scorpio ascendant, which is like, I mean, that's just like that's just like taking Pluto on a whole kind of on the nuclear steroid, and Pluto is already, you know, considered like atomic. Yeah, it has this kind of like, it's associated with the atomic bomb. Yeah, it's kind of the lord of the underworld. So you have actually this planet, the lord of the underworld, sitting on top of your ascendant. Yeah, in Scorpio, and Pluto and Scorpio are actually, they are like this. Look, they're like,
Wow.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like this, the Sun and Leo are like this. Yeah.
Mm.
Like, or Uranus and Aquarius are like this.
Mm.
So there's kind of, to have something sitting on your ascendant for me, so that is the first house. Yeah. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
see if you can pull this chart up. Yeah, because there's a few things that I would like to draw attention to before we also, because we don't have much time, as we know. Today is a bit of a little taster, yes. But
Yes.
I want to touch. Sorry, something's ringing. Oh, yeah. You know, I'm gonna have to shoot, like, you know, fairly soon. So this is all a bit unexpected, unexpected interferences at the moment. But you know, that's also life, no? Being able to deal with the moment as it
So,
arises.
look, I am going to put this link where people can count their own personal chart on the description, as well as we are going to put a PDF of an empty house so people can make notes for themselves as well. But for them to even be able and to be even interested to understand more about their astrology, we want some profound knowledge. For example, what does your birth chart can reveal about you? How can it reveal your core essence? Because we are part of the universe and we were born in a particular time, so planets have effect on us, right?
What do you know about your personal essence?
I know that I have a great relationship with sun. I have a lot of energy. I know that I'm developing a very good relationship with moon because I feel feminine energy is rising within me. I have a very good relationship with Jupiter. That's as much as I know. I know that I can expand very quick.
I'm not talking about astrology so much, but that's interesting. See, I mean, like, I personally like think the moon is not even bloody real. The moon is definitely like not, for me, it is not associated with female energy at all. That is a hijacked, kind of an imposter. You know, there is a lot said about, you know, how the containment field, this matrix is sponsored from our hijacked subconscious, unconscious mind, and the moon matrix, the moon matrix, the moon Saturn connection. That is for me, that is a big part of like what's keeping this construct alive, and it's actually quite astounding. How many people seem to think of, you know, the moon, you know, as this natural occurring feminine governing principle, you know, ruling the tides and ruling this and that and the other. I mean, there's even an actual book by Russian scientists, apparently, who tracked the moon over, or like who built the moon. You know, this I'm just saying, so, when I'm saying that astrology, to refrain from like even identifying with certain things. Yeah, like I am a Libra, I am a Leo, I am this, I'm that. It's like the attachment actually that keeps us in the game, and the attachment on the female is different than the attachment on the male. The attachment on the male, I would say, like pertains much more to being very attached to certain narratives. For example, the moon is the female principle, and having like a great deal of like even considering that this might be completely and utterly wrong and part of the inversion, and that might bring like your whole kind of cosmology crumbling down, and what's then there to fall back on once like the cosmologies break down. If you have then nothing to fall back on the inside, because you haven't actually done the emotional, the trauma bonding, with all these like things that ensuring safety, for example, what brings you actually safety, and what actually like is the only thing that should bring you safety from the inside is your direct gut connection. And the moon, I think, like is a very profound hijack of that wanting to desperately connect and hold on to anything that pertains to this containment field. Does this actually make sense? Because now we're talking like on quite a few different levels. Because we've talked earlier about for me there is a very profound trauma fracture within this containment field that prevents spirit from bringing in your essence, which is what they're after. They are after your unique essence, and anything that can substitute for that within this, when you have no direct connection to a God from within, you will be holding on to anything that is gonna give you any kind of like reassurance of somehow something providing a level of safety.
Okay, I have a question. So, how can people heal this personal guard?
This what?
This personal guard, this guard within us that we know that is inside, and we want to be able to rely on it when something happens outside, right?
When you mean like God, what do you mean?
That safety feeling inside, knowing that you are gonna be fine. I guess this is connection with God.
Oh,
this
God.
Connection with universe.
Sorry, I understood something completely different.
Well, it is a guard. Your inner guard is your connection with God, knowing that whatever is happening for your highest good, and you are maybe consciously choosing to go through the lessons to come out stronger and wiser and more aware, right? So how can we heal this connection with God within us, that we would not look for outer places to rely on some kind of assistance or some kind of a safe places or somebody to protect us?
Well, I would say like, this is quite a tall order, and I personally like would probably not advise people to go down this track until they have a very safe internal navigation system, to meet, let's say, all these shackles within and the shackles without, to be able to withstand it. That's why the safe spaces are so important. And, we have been talking about introducing within this very short session the necessity of safe spaces, and how our, because this is like inner outer, this it's the heart really is the gateway, At the heart is also that what is crucified. Yeah, spirit matter disconnect, and then the emotional, mental kind of the horizontal crucifixion line. So there are two trauma fractures, and this entire containment field actually works off that. And it's there's so much to be said about that, but I would probably say before we're gonna come to the safe spaces, because Anna and me, we have for quite some time. How long do we know each other? 4 years now, yeah, almost 5 years. We met in the beginning of the convent, and we've been talking about the necessity of safe spaces where we can actually reclaim our ability, our innate ability to create, and to create also a whole different world, yeah, where we protect our creative focus and direct all of this beautiful energy over to the things that we actually want to build, away from this whole transhumanist takeover attempt, yeah, sucking us into this digital dystopian prison. Yeah, and so we have very concrete projects, haven't we, Anna? So
Yes, we do.
I want to say one thing, like, you know, because I'm honestly, I am a bit pressed for time now. Yeah. I would like, in regards to, you've sent me 10 questions before. Yeah. And I have, like, you know, looked at them. They were very profound questions, very well thought out. And as I said, I'm not an astrologer. Yeah. But like, I would say the one thing that I would say I would recommend people to look at is the North Node, South Node axis. Yeah, because that is, in a way, that is, I would consider that an exit strategy. Yeah, because this is the accumulation of many lifetimes of recycling, you know, of the compounded kind of like trauma imprint. Soul recycle memory of early developmental trauma and generational trauma, all kind of compounded, you know, coming in through that hijacked 12th first house nerve. This is a nervous system hijack. This is in a way the most transpersonal house is the 12th house. Yeah. And it's the Piscean house also. It's the house, like, in a way, of the underworld, yeah, of the not the under the subconscious mind of this entire matrix, not just humanity, yeah. And the first house is your primary identity, yeah, where you have this Scorpio, this Pluto conjunct your ascendant in Scorpio, which is really the double whammy. You're supposed and capable to go really deep on that. Yeah. The North Node and the South Node. So the North Node is where you're heading. The South Node is what you're coming in with. Yeah, like this is lifetimes of, you know, practice stuff that has given you skill, natural assets
So,
you can fall back on, you know, natural. And we both have our South Node in Leo. Now, this South Node and the North Node, yeah, they are complementary axes, and you're supposed to work with both of them. Yeah, it's not I in favor of like, oh, we're just gonna be looking at the North Node now. No, you making use of, let's say, you know, we both have natural performer abilities, natural, yeah. You're not gonna let go of that, but you're bringing it in now in service, and for maybe, you know, being able to really access more effortlessly the North Node calling, which is an Aquarian. It's an Aquarian calling. This is also the Leo South Node. You know, if utilizing this level of personal power. Yeah, but this is an embodied knowledge about personal power. Yeah, that doesn't need to be learned about. But we bring in this now in service, like forward for the group. Yeah, for humanity and
Yes.
world. Yeah. And so yours, I
Yeah.
think, like, for example, so you're not just to come back to working with the North Node. Yeah, for people, if they want to take a look at astro.com and then go into the personal portrait section, if you have your actual precise birth time, you also gonna get the house position of both the South Node and the North Node. So you have 4 positions to work from. And that in and of itself gives you a very, very interesting kind of a map. Yeah, that for you specifically. I mean, mine is so. When I came to astrology, I came to astrology at a time I had already profound insights about myself. Yeah, based on being essentially completely transformed by having being checked by life itself. Yeah, no theory. You're gonna get the mirror, the projection. You're gonna get reality checked by life. It's very profound what you said earlier. Rather than learning about astrology, you actually learn from life about yourself, especially if you make it past denial and avoidance. And you really kind of take a brutally honest look at yourself. Where are the reoccurring conflicts? What are you avoiding? The avoidance, you can build a whole life around avoiding things. Yeah, and you learn a lot what you're actually avoiding. Yeah, so there's a lot to be said about because the north node and also the house position, will in a way probably highlight a certain level of avoiding this, despite being called to go there. There's a very strong calling that will be, because you understand intuitively there is great learning, and there's a big kind of a fusion, synergy that can happen if you pull these 2 poles together, because they're only on the opposing line because one of them is shut down and basically has been killed off on the expense of the other. That's why you work with both at the same time. Yeah.
Well, I'm very
Yeah. So
I'm very excited.
Your north node, basically the meme in which your Aquarian north node, the overall large, the overall life meme. Yeah, the north node, the meme of the north node itself is in Aquarius, but the house position is in Gemini. And that is,
It's
in a
4.
way, that is literally that is all about communication and really just delivering, delivering in that sense, being that Mercury kind of, that messenger, but coming from this, that humanitarian angle, that and group consciousness, yeah, that the Aquarian archetype is bringing forward, what can get very robotic. And I associate actually what governs Aquarius, Uranus, yeah, the planet. For me, this whole thing is actually the beast machine itself. Yeah, this is the alien imposter. And I'm drifting now a bit, yeah, because that's what I'm saying. It's a very vast topic, but you're supposed to disseminate information about about what you intuitively have access to with who you are. I can tell, I mean, when I took a look at your chart, this, only this morning, you sent me this information ages ago. This morning I took a look and I was like flying over backwards, just seeing the Pluto conjunct your ascendant in Scorpio. That is a really powerful position. And also you have your moon in Aries, that is a natural, a warrior, a strong warrior drive, to literally go for it and be not hold back. Very independent, fierce leadership kind of capabilities with that South Node, Leo, North, then the South Node in Leo. Yeah. We know how to initiate things. We're not waiting around,
Yeah.
and we can stand alone. Now you learning, and we both actually learning, even though my North Node, for example, my Aquarian North Node is actually in the 4th Cancer house. Yeah, which is really talking about my specific background and, Illuminati mind control. Yeah, and on that level also, and really starting, in the womb already. I to dissect this Cancer house, this root house, this is the emotional root. These are your lineages, this is like the deepest kind of, this is home. Yeah. And to look at through the lens, because the Aquarian North Node will give you a very neutral mindset, a capability to really abstract from your, from the much more personal. The Leo is it's a very personal, it's passionate, it's kind of it's driven from a self-actualization, a natural drive, to shine, to kind of also to gift others, through your shining naturally, but the Aquarian, the Aquarian archetype is much more in that sense transpersonal. Think of a machine mind. Yeah. So there's a neutrality to that can abstract, from all this passion and just step back and see also the vision for the greater good, for the group, for humanity, for the world. Does this make sense?
Okay, so we have now the North house and the South house, where we're going to where we're going.
The third house.
Okay. Yes, you carry on laughing. Okay. So North Node and South Node, and basically these are two of the most important things. Yeah, South is the past, North is where we're going.
I consider these 4 positions. Yeah, once you get them through astro.com, you can already. I started my journey literally Googling. Let's say, I have a Googling Leo in the 10th house, as my son in the 10th house. Yeah. Or I have a bit like you. I have quite a powerful Pluto Virgo conjunction, which is, that's, sorry, Virgo, the moon Pluto in my chart makes the conjunction. That is a very, very potent, that is a very potent aspect to look at. Yeah, I would just look at my chart and literally Google things, and don't make this kind of, because I will give, in the times ahead and with continuing conversations, I will give some more pointers, but in many ways, this is really about an ongoing study, of yourself. When what we talked about earlier, when life checks you, yeah, to be able to exercise the uttermost compassion while being brutally honest. That is actually a very Plutonian Scorpion, at a really high elevated level. This is why Scorpios are actually natural healers. When they kind of make it out of the gutter and they fly in high, yeah, this profound understanding of human nature. Yeah, it's also 8th house. Yeah, this is sex, money, power. This is deep fusion. Yeah, when they get their ego checked and have lifted their side out of the gutter, they really fly high and they soar, and they are naturally in service with that deep, profound knowledge that they have about human nature. Yeah, but this self-inquiry, I would say, with this dual axis, deep compassion, for the victim aspect, while staying identified, and knowing that, on a big overall scheme, you have inserted yourself here as a creator. This is obviously given that you are a true original creator being and not a bot. And I will say this conclusively, and I will be, could you please say something about our project, the Tenerife, London axis, the creation, safe spaces?
Well, to be honest with you, I think it should be you. I can just maybe introduce public to the title of it, and I think you are the person who needs to just bring it up, what it is.
Okay.
Mona has been working on this for a very long time.
Can you please, tell me why you feel we need safe spaces?
Well, I believe that having safe space where we can be ultimately means a place and time dedicated for our personal healing, whatever healing it is. It means I can address all those things safely, being physically safe. I can address all those things that have hurt me as a soul, as a spirit, as a body, and come out stronger and leave all the heaviness behind and, follow on towards your purpose of creating a better world for everyone.
So you do
I believe
straight away, basically, the need for personal healing. Yeah.
100%. This is where we are. We are in a choice point of actually we're thinking that belonging and acceptance is, which is a diversion, or having a safe space where I can heal. And if I can heal, I can know who I am, and I can know why I'm here, and I can know what I need to do.
Yeah, which is also the only way how we can really truly community build anything, and having that last. When I talked earlier about that this orchestrated shit show here is really after, it's only possible by eradicating who you truly are, and you have to in a way be compliant with that. Yeah, keep running from all your own underworlds, keep staying identified with, a front kind of safety providing public shell of, it's a shell life, yeah. And most people actually really feel the need to come back to themselves and reconnect. In order to do that, I think it's actually impossible to do that without the system feeling safe. Yeah, and I think we're so disconnected in our day-to-day life with the amount of how trauma is actually embedded in the very infrastructure of this, the psychic material infrastructure, how this has been creating an interface, yeah, and how it's accessing us from within, yeah, how the body in and of itself is corporately owned, by the way, yeah, and how spirit body fusion would be prevented through this containment field, just forever simulating the real, and how hypnotized we actually are from something that if you look deeper, even so-called quantum physics would tell you this is nothing here solid. So what makes this kind of stick, yeah, is I think to navigate that, that we are herd animals and we actually trauma bond with the abuse that will be perpetrated by our primary caregivers, because they have needed to essentially annihilate who they are, and they just only can pass on what they've learned. Yeah, so there is to sacrifice your true essence in order to stay alive. And that happens actually these first 7 formative years, the programmable years, where your emotional body is literally being entranced, like this recording machine that it actually is. I would say even the first 7 years, is actually could be brought down to the first 3 years. And the safety of a system, if you ever like see, or find yourself like, let's say, being triggered, and like all of a sudden you get somatically overrun by emotions that literally shut down your so-called adult self, you cannot really do process shit like this in the public. You would retreat, like where you can maybe safely cry, you can hold yourself, let's say, in a fetal position. Let's say the trauma has like, switched you back, like, to a point you were like 8 months old, 8 months old, you would maybe not even be able to stand on your own feet. So now you have to lay down. Can you do that? Like, anywhere, like, in most social situations, even while triggered, like you learn automatically to shut this down. And because everyone around you does this too, it's like, it's so normalized that I think to even understand what a safe space really does, if it's ensured, over time, for you not having to leave, let's say, because the rent is not being paid, or mortgage gone up, flipped upside down, and you're going to be, bailiffed out of your, all of these stuff, having this in the background running, that everyone's running on their, survival frequency, on automatic. This is not even denoted by your conscious self. We're so adapted to this level of craziness. Everything is upside down here. Everything. This is an inverted hell realm, and we've kind of like come, to somehow sell this to ourselves and others as normal. And this is why I'm saying this, like, coming out of denial, coming out of like even avoiding, owning the fact that everyone in that dog here behaves like a slave. If you can't even own that, how can you make any real solid inquiry into your internal landscapes and where the shackles really are? Because we can see the shackles now quite clearly on the outside, but everything is really held together on the inside by the denied trauma realms. Because they are creative too, and they are powering all of this. Now, like, if you think of like, what they even say in whatever, even with 5%, like, of the iceberg, like, above water, or however, even if you're gonna be like, generous and say like, 10%, which is very generous. I would like say it's really, it's a minimal fracture of what is actually available to us, who we truly are, in terms of like, even, looking at all this, like what's been termed as junk DNA. Who says this is junk DNA just because you don't have the access codes? In terms of like, and this is concluding, because everything here is a binary code. These two, the self-crucifixion codes, they're really running like, on the outside just as well as they're running on the inside. What I talked about earlier with the spirit matter disconnect, the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. So where is that meeting? That is the heart. Most people like look at the heart as female. I don't consider the heart as like, neither female or male. I think like, when I'm talking, for example, female emotional body, and mental male body, these are inversion kind of pairings already of this containment field. You know, when if you look like, you know, as at an actual real, yeah, as in opposed to, you know, something pretending to be human, real human males, yeah, to actually, like, you know, like even to you know, they have, like, you know, like emotional bodies. Who has associated this, like, you know, with emotional body, with the absence of masculinity? What the fuck, like, you know, like, this is like such a so when I'm referencing stuff like that, I'm not condoning that. I'm merely telling you from my perspective, this is what I've observed are the codes that are holding this containment field together from the inside out, yeah? Because these fracture codes, the self-crucifixion, it's a binary system, yeah? These two primary fracture trauma codes, yeah, or trauma fracture codes. Yeah, this is a cross. And it meets, this is the heart, this is the crucified heart. And the heart, personally, like, you know, I think is neutral. The heart contains everything. The heart is your gateway to spirit.
The heartway is the place to heal. Oh my God. That's why we are making music in 432 frequency. It just all makes sense. 432 is the frequency of a heart. Activation of DNA, healing, feeling and healing. So on that note, we do want to let you know that we are also starting a singing circle for our heart healing on United Notes. These are mantra-based, time-tested, incredible songs were crafted and carefully picked by Mona and few.
Little easy pick-up mantras, yeah? And
Yes, they are beautiful, they're wonderful.
No, you know, like people can sing along, like, you know, in their own, you know, because I have so many people. I keep saying this to you because you're so super confident with your voice, Alna. Yeah, you know, people are very, very voice traumatized. You know how many people I've actually met? They were told, like, you know, you better shut up, like, you know, you bring the rains or whatever, you know, and you know, having told they have a horrible voice. If you can speak, you can sing, and we are literally bringing this in, not like, you know, as a performance tool. No one needs to kind of like, you know, do anything like a it's a bit like a challenge to the perfectionism, yeah, which is really a cover for shame, and which is one of the biggest killers of our creativity. It's like having a go, you know, joining in, you know, you're going to be muted because of the time lag anyway, unless you come in physically to our circle. We are at the moment in the same town, so we shall be having our first singing circle physically together. Yes. But this is really like, you know, just starting to play again, just starting to actually, you know, get the fun again. Also what it feels like, you know, to sound, you know, to sound up like your own body, because singing is a very physical exercise. And the more you are embodied, yeah, taking back this body is going to be a prime remedy to counteract the transhumanist takeover attempts. Yeah, so singing is profound healing, like on so many different levels. Yeah. Anna, do you want to, and I would like very soon in our next conversation, Anna is going to give me a guided tour. So this is like, you know, my solution pilot. We have decided to collaborate. Alna will be primarily focused on London. I will be primarily focused on Tenerife. But the actual the exportability of this solution pilot, yeah, is really predicated on universal building blocks. They work anywhere in any culture across all time and space. And they are actually incredibly simple. Solutions are simple, yeah. And space will unleash them. And for me, one point that I really want to bring across, because, you know, what has disabled because humanity really like struggles with space, yeah, independent sovereign spaces, yeah, and this planet is currently literally bought up by this psychopathic mafia, yeah, like and the inability of like humans to actually claim space, sovereign space on this God-given earth, yeah, that we are given this earth. This kind of inability, yeah, has a lot to do with the fact that our internal kingdoms have not been reclaimed. Yeah, that is obviously like the kind of trauma we've talked about, touched upon earlier. Like soul recycled trauma, generational trauma, early developmental trauma in particular. Yeah, all these factors compounded, not claimed, yeah, remaining unhealed. They are literally sponsoring, our own, this is a self-enslavement, a self-enslavement containment field. It's sponsored by the weaponization of our sub-unconscious mind. Yeah, I'm calling it sub-unconscious, because there's something, there's something to be said about making a differentiation there, but and that is, by the way, to look, I find 12th house programming, which is the nervous system axis, 12th house programming, first house. So this is like the Piscean, most transpersonal, aspect of, whatever this really is, God's dream, and reclaiming it back. And the first house, this axis is the nervous system. Yeah, and the work is really is down now to embodying, all these like things that we say we want to do. We have to bring that like through daily action in and starting to embody, be like, in a way faith in action.
Faith in action. I love it.
Yes.
Caring and sharing.
Yes.
Feeling and healing.
When is the singing circle, Alna? Is it on Sunday?
It's on Sunday. Sunday, and we need to
Decisions
decide
are
on
door
time.
openers. I just drew this card. This is from my Joker deck. Decisions are door openers that flew out. So Sunday, it has to be.
Okay.
And this time we're gonna have an open campfire. I should say, even if it may. Do you have shelter actually in your communal garden? Could you provide something that could, let's say, if it is raining, because it was actually, there was snow earlier here in my back garden.
I know.
You've seen it, yeah? I thought
it was snowing when I was.
What?
No, look, I do have a back garden where we potentially can have a fire, so we need to think of a shelter in case if it's raining, and wood. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We can do it all.
Okay. I like the sound of that. So I'm looking forward to Sunday, and
Yes.
that was quite enjoyable. And let's focus on bringing the solutions in, one choice at a time. Yeah.
So we have spaces. We're looking for funding. We're looking for people who would like to be the main axis in us getting those spaces. If you are one of them, let us know. You can be in touch with us on alnamusic.com or...
Well, my website is not exactly mobile friendly yet, but it is mona.global. Nothing after the global, simply mona.global.
That's it. Game on, everyone. Thank you so much, Mona, for your time today and for sharing your knowledge on what's happening, on potential and hopeful exit plans for astrology, and getting to know ourselves, healing our heart, and getting together in communities to support others. This was Angel's Voices, and today's angel was Mona. Thank you so much. We hope to see you very soon.
Okay.
I wish you an amazing day and bless you.
Bless you.
There's only God, and that God is in you. Make a life count, make this love even bigger. Turn to you and to life, make a joy be the trigger.
Angels Voices podcast, knowledge for self-development.